Enough conspiracy theory talk. I guess we can actually talk about some football now. To do that, we'll bring on Preston Guy, TigerBait.com. Gives us time on Fridays, and the Jim's Firearms Hotline does so now. Preston, how we doing?
Hun, are you sure about that? The conspiracies are just great for clicks.
A lot of clicks, a lot of nonsense, a lot of panic for no reason. How was your experience on whatever day that was, Tuesday, Wednesday? Were you getting blown up?
Yeah, I looked up and I had about 5 text messages from a bunch of people. Twitter was getting blown up, and it's actually how a lot of things start. There's an internet rumor out there, and then you got to go investigate. And we did our investigating and came to about the same conclusion as everybody else did.
They were pretty quick responses. Sometimes when there's something up, like you might have to work a little bit hard. The responses this time around were pretty quick. It's like, he's fine,
right.
Chill. Which was comforting. All right, let's talk a little bit of football then. It's been a week since we spoke, obviously. It sounds like Aaron Anderson is back at practice. How big a deal is that for LSU? And let's talk some wide receivers. Where is he in your pecking order right now?
I mean, yeah, he's your starting slot receiver, and it's a big deal. Let's put it like this. He's a very, very good player, but I would argue LSU is actually blessed in such a way where it's not as big a deal as it should be. A lot of teams, you lose a guy like Aaron Anderson, that's a major hit, but LSU's just got a stacked receiver room. So I'm going to take that to compliment the receiving room. But, of course, Aaron Anderson is among the best receivers in the SEC and a guy who you can rely on to make that tough catch, clutch catches as well. And he's a talent in the return game as well. So he's certainly a very good player. It's your best returning receiver, no doubt, although you're bringing in a lot of talented new guys. But LSU ultimately, that receiver room is just absolutely loaded.
How sure are you that he's their best returning receiver?
Well, I mean,
Hilton.
Is Davion Thomas better
Hilton.
than him? I mean, Chris Hilton. Well, most productive.
There you go. I mean, there's to give a spoiler to the folks out there. Like we got a piece on LouisianaSports.net called Station Survey where I ask a question to everybody at the station and we put up their answers. And tomorrow we're going to run who's going to be LSU's leading guy in terms of receiving yards and in terms of receptions. And a lot of folks have hinted at those too. I mean, where would you fall in line with that?
Yeah, I mean, look, Hilton looks so good in practice, and he looks like more of a complete receiver now. Allegedly, he's as fast as anybody on this team. So I am cautiously expecting a big year from Hilton. I'm just so cautious about it because we've seen this song and dance so many times with Hilton where, fall camp, he's looking great, and then an injury or something just gets him. And I kind of don't want to get burned again, but maybe this is the time I get burned for doubting him. But I'll say this. Potential to be your number one receiver on the team, and I think whoever comes out as the number one receiver on this team is going to have every opportunity to be the best in the SEC.
More productive season this year if everybody's healthy, Barian Brown or Nick Anderson?
Barian Brown is who I'll go with. I mean, he's just such a dynamic player. Not to mention he'll get involved in the return game, so that gives him a little bit of an upper hand. But I'll go Barian Brown.
So what do you think is Nick Anderson's role in this team?
I mean, he's too good to keep off the field, but, here's the other thing. He's also a younger guy. I mean, he's got a big body out there. He's 6'4". So I think he's a guy that they're going to use dynamically in situations. They're not maybe not as speedster as some of the guys on the team, but he's a guy who they can definitely use as a change of pace, big body on the outside. I don't think any of these guys that we've talked about here are guys who are not going to catch 10 passes this year. I think there's going to be a plethora of players that they're rotating in the game and keeping fresh.
So as far as the tight ends go, we know that Brian Kelly loves to use the tight end. We know they've used it a ton the last 3 years with Mason Taylor. How do you think they handle things because every time you put potentially a second tight end out there, if you play Sharp and Green, which they've done some, you got to take a receiver off the field. So how do you think they handle that?
Well, we've seen it a lot. They're putting Trey'dez Green, they're slotting him out a lot. So, yeah, they are taking the receiver off the field for Trey'dez Green a lot. Again, it's going to be one of those things where I think a lot of guys are putting up good numbers. Maybe there won't be a guy who has, a 1,500-yard season or whatever just because they're mixing it out to so many players. I'd say the tight end room, the surprising part has been to me how many times Trey'dez Green is the one tight end when they're running 11 personnel out there, when they're running one tight end. I thought that they were going to turn to Bauer Sharp because he's more of a complete player. He's a very polished receiver, but he's also a much better blocker than Trey'dez Green. So you put him out there and you get a more complete player. I think that the fact that they're going with Trey'dez, number one, says that they intend to get, they're going to use this tight end in the passing game a lot this year. And number two, it shows a lot of confidence in Trey'dez Green and his development into a complete player. Looking forward to seeing a few more 11-on-11 reps and seeing what Trey'dez does as a blocker.
For sure. They say all the time he's willing. He's just got to continue to get better at it. I hesitate to compare teams to the 2019 team. I think that's a bit of a high standard to try to live up to. So with that in mind, are you okay with the identity of LSU's team being in the passing game? And do you think they can compete for a championship with the passing game being the baseline of the offense?
Yeah. I mean, they've got arguably the best quarterback in the country who, only has patellar tendonitis now, so he should be fine. I think that you've got a receiving core that's just too talented, not too talented to not put the ball in their hands. Too many weapons, too many guys to cover. You got to find ways. I don't think teams are going to have enough talented coverage guys to cover. I mean, if you put 5 weapons on the field, I don't know if very many teams are going to be able to have 5 elite coverage guys like that, because that's essentially what you're capable of putting on the field on every play. By the way, your running backs, Harlem Berry and Caden Durham, both great receivers. Now, Harlem Berry's probably more good at playing it more like a wide receiver where he's smooth and graceful catching the ball. But Caden Durham's a guy, if you get him in some space, very dangerous. So, yeah, no, absolutely. But here's the thing. They got to run the ball well enough to keep them honest. And more so than the running back spot, I'm looking to the offensive line. Can you be nasty? Can you create holes? We'll see.
I think you're probably answering my next question for me there, but what are you looking for in the scrimmage tomorrow?
Well, I'll be trying my best to keep up with stats for sure, but, I'm sure people are tired of hearing this, but it has to be your offensive line. I mean, they've shown us some promising moments, and they've looked a little suspect at times. It's not like that 2023 defense where we all went out there and we're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Is the offense going to light the world on fire, or is the defense going to be historically awful? And the answer was both.
Yep.
They've had some moments, they've held their own, and the standard is if this unit can be average, just average SEC offensive line, we feel that the rest of the team is stacked enough to get this team where they're going. But that's a big question mark as to whether they can get there. That's what I'm going to be looking for. We're going to be looking at scrimmage. Can they get holes in the running game? Can they give Nussmeier time to throw? Can they do the things they need to do to where this offense operates? Because you can have as talented an offense as you want. Without blocking, you can't operate.
Last one here. Jace Matthews tonight, number 2 receiver in the country, according to folks at On 3 and Rivals, right there behind Tristan Key. They're both Mississippi kids. He'll announce tonight at 6 o'clock. Do you have a feeling on that one?
Yeah, certainly some proximity for LSU. LSU's going to have a chance, but I'd be surprised if he doesn't end up going to Auburn.
All right, we'll see. We'll talk next week. We might see you out there tomorrow.
All right, Hunt. See you soon.
Preston Guy, TigerBait.com. Catch him on YouTube on Mondays with us every single Friday on the Hunt Palmer Show. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.